Hello, in this video I would like to talk about the classic Eric Clapton riff from the song Layla and what I like to think about as the Layla lick. The part of the song I'm talking about is this. Starting with fret 10 on your B string, I'm going to hammer to fret 13, then fret 10 on the high E string and fret 13, which I'm going to pull off to fret 10. Back to fret 13 on the B string, finish fret 10 on the high E string. So put this together. Now you could also hammer on this high note. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to actually pick that high note. I'm going to take that lick and I'm going to move it to a different key. So if I take the A minor pentatonic, for instance, so the A minor pentatonic scale starting on fret 5, so I'm going to play fingers 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. So playing the original pattern, if I start on my B string now on fret 5, I'm going to hammer to fret 8, then fret 5 on the high E string, fret 8 on the high E string, and pull off to fret 5, back to the B string with my little finger on fret 8, and then fret 5 on the high E string. We get this. I'm going to move this to the next set of strings. So I'm going to start on fret 5 on my G string. Instead of my little finger, this note is not in the scale, fret 7 is, so I'm going to hammer with my third finger instead. I'm then going to take the same sequence and move on to the D string and play fret 5. And it's going to be my third finger on the 7th frets on the D and the G strings. Moving on to the next set of strings, I'm going to play again fret 5 on my D string. And it's going to be now on the A string. And then on the low E string. It's back to the little finger on fret 8. We now have a 7-note sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Rather than think in 7 notes, I'm going to think about 6 notes and leave the last note off. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The reason is the 7th note is where I'm going to start the pattern again on the A string. So start from here. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 7th note of this pattern is going to be the start again on the D string. Then on the G string, and then the B string. So we have a 6-note ascending sequence. Put it all together, we get this. I'm now going to take the last 4 notes of that sequence, starting from the pull-off. So that was fret 8 on the high E string, pull off to fret 5, fret 8 on the B string, back to fret 5 on the high E string. We now have a 4-note sequence. I'm going to take this 4-note sequence and move this across the strings. So onto the B string, then onto the G string. Again, the adjustments are to fit in with the scale. So third finger. Onto the D string, and onto the A string. Back to the little finger on the low E string. So we have a 6-note ascending sequence and a 4-note descending sequence. Together, this is the ascending and descending pattern. The next thing to do would be to play this same sequence in different positions. So if I move to the next position of the minor pentatonic scale, I could start on fret 10 and 8 on the high E string, coming down to fret 10 on the B string, and then, so put it together, and so on. The ascending sequence at this point would be, I'm now going to do a horizontal version of this. So if I play the second pattern, this is, I'm going to add a slide with my first finger going to fret 8. And this takes me to the next position. I now have 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can then start in the next position, and then the next position. So put that together, and so on. If you can see your minor pentatonic scale all over the fingerboard, you've then got a 6-note, a 4-note, and a 5-note sequence. Jumble it all up. If we now take a different scale, such as the A Dorian modal scale, you have more notes on most of the strings. So as an example, on the high string, I could play my original pattern, but I also have the option of using my third finger because this note is also in the scale. I could then play, or I maybe could do the pull off from the 8th fret and then the pull off from the 7th fret before going to the next string. We now have a different pattern. If I could apply that to the next strings, you can see you've got some different patterns you can work on. Hopefully you can see how useful this particular sequence is, and it can be used on any scale and give you lots of improvisational possibilities. So if you did enjoy this video, please hit the subscribe button and join me again soon for some more tips and ideas.